This is a high pressure, standard volume, Melling LS oil pump. Let's put it on. So the first thing you're gonna need to do is take all your accessories off, right? All my accessories are off. Next thing you're gonna need to do is take your crank pulley off, okay? Take your crank pulley off. You're gonna need a pulley puller to get that off. Then you are going to need to drop your oil pan as much as the K-member will allow your oil pan to drop. So loosen all your oil pan bolts and let the oil pan drop down. Okay. I got mine. Oh man. I don't know if I got the strength right now. I'm weak. All right. This pulley system is perfect. All right, guys. So I got the oil pan drop. So I had to drop the oil pan a little bit so you can get to the bolt, pickup to the bolt. I got that out. I already got the 4 out here. So all you should need to do is just twist it to get it off of this. Pull it and twist it to get it off of that. It should come right out. Let's see. At least that's what they say anyway. There we go. All right, so I'm about to put the other oil pump on, and depending on what pickup tube you got, mine is straight. That tells you what O-ring you're gonna use. All right, so according to this, if you have the straight one, right, then you use the black O-ring. If you have a beveled one, then you use that beveled one, then you use the green one, right? So it says it should be approximately 0.87 of an inch. So let's measure it and see. But I want to see, I'm just curious, see where that's at. And it's about right. 0.87 of an inch. So I don't really think it matters which one you put on there. That's about right, 0.87. So say you gotta, if I remember correctly, you put it on, gotta kind of twist it on there. If this bad boy works. The hard part is getting it back on. Well, I did this before. I remember it was like super hard. There we go. Hook it up and put everything together. Make sure, it won't focus. Make sure that O-ring is all the way up in there. Okay, the first time I just got down here and looked at it, the O-ring was, make sure the O-ring is all the way up in there. Okay, because if it's not, if it's pinched or something, you're not gonna have oil pressure. So it's gonna be off. So before you ready to tighten it up, make sure the O-ring is all the way up in there. And then simply, once it's up in there, you see, mine look like it's up in there all the way. All right, feels good. No pieces sticking out. And simply, the screwdriver, just push it on up in there. All right. First, I'm gonna put the bolts back in it. All right, now I'm gonna tell you right now, getting that bolt up in there is difficult. But you kind of gotta play with it. So I use my pointer finger my middle finger and just kind of put it up in there. You have a magnet on hand if you drop it, but I got it in there, and then just start twisting it with your 2 fingers to get it in place. Right. This is where having a cross member where you can take the oil pan off completely will make it much, much easier. All right, but now that I got it to the point where I can't do it with my hands, 10mm wrench. Right, it ain't gotta be super tight. It's only supposed to be 106 inch-pounds, man. So obviously you're not gonna do that with a wrench. So just get it nice and snug. Okay, you don't wanna break it off either. I actually broke one off before. And yeah, I think I broke one off on that truck I had to review. If you want, you could get the other piece that goes on this end where you can have both of them clamped. That's a whole lot easier to get right there. But you don't really need both. I ran one for years. Right, and there you go, just nice and snug. All right, you don't need to overdo it. There you go. All right, guys, so there she is. Got the new oil pump installed. Bolts are 18 foot-pounds. That bottom one again is supposed to be 106 inch-pounds, but we just got that hand tight because we're not getting no inch-pound wrench down in there without taking that pan off. I already got all the pan bolts torqued back down, hand tight. Because again, I think the pan is supposed to be 18 foot-pounds as well. And I could do that, but yeah, hand tight is good enough for me. I mean, once you do it for a while, you kind of get the feel anyway. You know, this ain't my first time taking this oil pumps off and oil pans off of LS motors, man. It is what it is. All right, so all I gotta do now is put the timing chain cover back on, get that bolted down, and then put the crank pulley back down. Now that crank pulley, I do go by specs for that, for sure. So we're gonna put the timing chain cover back on, put the crank pulley back on, then I can take my flywheel holder off, put the starter back on, and then we're done with the oil pump. You know, of course the engine ain't gonna start. I gotta put oil back in it, and I'm gonna build a turbo kit before I finish all that too. All right, guys, that's how you need to have it done. So again, when you are putting your crank bolt back in, I use an old bolt to screw. All right, old crank bolt. The GM calls for like 240 foot-pounds on this thing. 40 foot-pounds. 240 foot-pounds. And then remove it and torque a new bolt down 37 foot-pounds with an additional 140 degrees. And now we put the new bolt in. So if you're gonna use an ARP crankshaft bolt, or harmonic balancer bolt, I should say. All right, guys, so I got it all put back together, and that is it. So comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure you tighten up your oil pan bolts and use the correct specifications on this boat here, and have a good one.